Steve Harvey style. Now listen here, ladies. I might tell you something my mama used to say. If you don't set the price on yourself, somebody else will put you on clearance. And she wasn't talking about dresses on a rack. She was talking about your value. There are 4 things that'll kill your value in front of a man faster than you can blink. Number 1, you stop respecting yourself. See, when you let a man get away with things you know deep down ain't right, you're teaching him you'll tolerate it. And trust me, he gon' take that lesson and run with it. Number 2, you keep lowering your standards to keep him around. Let me tell you something. If you gotta drop the bar so low that he can trip over it, that man wasn't built for you in the first place. Number 3, you ignore your own goals and dreams just to fit into his. I love baby. You were born with your own assignment, your own vision. A real man's gonna support that, not make you forget it. And number 4, you act desperate for his approval. You start chasing, calling, begging for attention. No, no, no. Confidence is magnetic. Desperation repels. You don't have to convince the right man to see your worth. Ladies, remember, your value is not something a man gives you. It's something you walk in with. Protect it. Keep it high. And if he can't handle it, that's not your problem. That's his loss. Ladies, let me break this down plain and simple. If you don't respect yourself, you're giving a man the exact playbook on how to treat you. And trust me, once you hand him that book, you can't get mad when he follows the rules you gave him. See, self-respect is not just a nice word people throw around. It's your personal boundary fence. It's that invisible wall that says, this is how you deal with me, and this is what I will not accept. Now, when you have that wall standing strong, a man has no choice but to step up to it, knock politely, and meet your standards if he wants to come in. But when you let that wall crumble, when you allow little things to slide, when you ignore red flags, when you give chance after chance to a man who keeps showing you he's not serious, you're basically leaving the gate wide open, saying, come on in, treat me however you want. And here's the real truth. Men don't decide how to treat you all on their own. You teach them. Every time you accept being spoken to in a disrespectful tone and don't address it, you just told him, that's fine. Every time you let him cancel on you last minute with no real explanation and still make yourself available next time, you just said, that's okay, my time isn't valuable. Every time you allow him to cross your boundaries and you stay quiet because you're scared he might leave, you just wrote another chapter in that manual. One that tells him exactly how little effort he needs to put in to keep you. Self-respect is like pricing yourself in a store. If you put yourself on the clearance rack, don't be surprised when bargain shoppers come looking for you. A man who walks into your life will see the price tag. You've put on yourself based on how you carry yourself, how you speak up for yourself, how you handle being mistreated. And I'm not talking about money value, I'm talking about the respect value. If your tag says, I'll take whatever I can get, then guess what? That's all you're going to get. Now, some women think if I'm too strict, I'll scare him away. Baby, the wrong man will run away whether you have boundaries or not. The right man will respect the way you respect yourself, because it tells him you're serious about your life. And let me tell you something, when a man knows you respect yourself, he knows he can't just feed you lies, play with your emotions, or waste your time because you won't tolerate it. You'll walk away before you let that happen. That kind of woman is rare, and that kind of woman is valuable. Think about it. If you walk into a luxury store, the staff doesn't follow you around begging you to buy something. They know their worth. They know if you're serious about buying, you'll step up and meet the price. But if you're just looking, they're fine letting you leave. That's exactly how you have to be with men. If he's not ready to treat you right, let him leave. You're not losing anything. You're making space for the one who's willing to meet the standard. I've seen so many women lose their shine because they wanted to keep a man more than they wanted to keep their own dignity. They start tolerating bad behavior, thinking, if I just stick around, he'll change. But here's the thing, why would he change when you've already proven you'll stay without him changing? Why fix the roof when you're still living in the house, rain dripping on your head? That's the logic men use. If you're comfortable in the mess, they'll leave it messy. When you respect yourself, you send a message without even speaking. Your body language changes. Your energy changes. You don't laugh off things that hurt you. You don't stay silent when something feels wrong. You address it. And if it keeps happening, you remove yourself. That's the language of self-respect. And when a man sees that, he either steps up or steps out. Either way, you win, because you didn't have to lower yourself to keep him. Ladies, hear me. You're self-respect is not just about what you demand from a man. It's about what you demand from yourself. Are you keeping your promises to yourself? Are you holding yourself accountable? Are you making sure you're living up to your own standards? Because you can't expect him to treat you like a queen if you don't even treat yourself like one. At the end of the day, self-respect is your manual. If you make it clear that you are valuable, that you have standards, and that you are not afraid to walk away, you will only attract men who can rise to meet you there. But if you keep lowering that bar, you'll keep finding yourself with men who step over it like it's nothing. So, don't hand out a manual that teaches a man how to disrespect you. Hand him one that says, "This is how you love me, this is how you treat me, and if you can't do that, keep walking." That's how you protect your value, and that's how you make sure the right man sees you for the treasure you are. Ladies, let's get something straight right now. Your standards are not just a list of cute preferences like I like a man who's tall, or I want somebody who makes me laugh. No, your standards are the foundation of your worth in a relationship. They are the rules, the boundaries, the values that protect your heart and your dignity. The moment you start lowering them just to hold on to a man, you have already handed over the keys to your power. And once you give that power away, getting it back is a whole lot harder than you think. Here's the thing. Standards are like the lock on your front door. You don't keep the lock there to be difficult or picky. You keep it there to protect what's inside. If you start unlocking it for anybody who knocks, you can't act surprised when people come in and start rearranging your life, taking what they want and leaving a mess behind. In relationships, it works the same way. You created those standards for a reason, because they reflect your values, your needs, and your self-respect. When you lower them, even just a little, you're sending a message, I'm willing to bend my principles so you don't leave. And the second a man hears that message, he knows he's in control. Dropping your standards might seem harmless at first. Maybe you said, I'll never date a man who disrespects my time, but he cancels on you twice in 1 week and you tell yourself, it's fine, he's just busy. Maybe you said, I won't tolerate being spoken to in a rude way, but he snaps at you in public and you laugh it off to avoid an argument. Or maybe you told yourself, I'll only date a man who's ready for commitment. But you find yourself in a situationship, hoping he'll change his mind. It's subtle at first, but every time you let something slide that goes against what you stand for, you're taking a brick out of the wall that protects you. Eventually, that wall is gone, and you're left wondering why you feel powerless in your own relationship. Let me tell you why this is dangerous. Men notice when you change your rules for them. At first, they might even act like they appreciate it. But deep down, they know they didn't have to rise to your level. You came down to theirs. And when that happens, the balance shifts, the respect starts to fade. You start to feel like you're doing all the work to keep the relationship going while he puts in the bare minimum. Why? Because you taught him that you'll stick around even if he doesn't meet your standards. Some women lower their standards because they're afraid of losing the man. But here's the truth. If you have to compromise your values to keep him, you don't have him. You're just renting space in his life until he finds something else. Real love doesn't require you to shrink yourself, dim your light, or accept less than you deserve. Real love challenges both people to grow, not for one person to keep lowering the bar so the other can step over it without effort. When you stand firm in your standards, you send a clear message that you know your worth. The right man will respect that. He might even step up his game to meet you there. But when you drop your standards, you're telling him, I'm more afraid of being alone than I am committed to my own happiness. That's when you lose your power, because you've made his presence in your life more important than your self-respect. I've seen it happen too many times. A woman starts out strong, knowing exactly what she wants, not willing to settle. Then she meets a man she really likes, and little by little, she starts excusing behavior she swore she'd never tolerate. Before she knows it, she's doing things for him, sacrificing her time, her peace, and sometimes even her dreams, all because she's afraid that if she stands her ground, he'll walk away. But here's the hard truth. If he's going to walk away because you have standards, let him walk. Your life will have more peace with those standards intact than it will with him staying and treating you like you don't matter. Keeping your standards high isn't about being cold, arrogant, or impossible to please. It's about honoring yourself enough to say, if this man can't meet me where I am, I'm not moving backward just to make him comfortable. It's about knowing that your power is in your ability to choose who you give access to. Not everyone deserves that access. Ladies, I don't care how good you look, how nice your hair is laid, or how fine your outfit is. If desperation is coming off you, a man will sense it before you even open your mouth. It's like cheap perfume, too strong, too obvious, and it lingers in a way that makes people step back. Desperation doesn't have to mean you're begging a man to stay. It's often much more subtle. It's in the way you overgive to someone who hasn't earned it. It's in how you rearrange your whole schedule just because he called last minute. It's in the way you're constantly seeking his validation, approval, and attention to feel good about yourself. And let me tell you something. Men don't respect desperation, they exploit it. When a man senses desperation, he knows he doesn't have to put in much effort. Why? Because you've already shown him you'll do anything to keep him around. That's like walking into a store and the salesperson says, I'll give you anything here for 90% off, just please don't leave. Even if the man didn't intend to take advantage of you at first, desperation makes it too easy for him not to. You end up accepting less than you deserve, all because you're afraid he might walk away. Confidence, on the other hand, changes the whole game. Confidence says, I'd like for you to be here, but I don't need you here for me to feel whole. It's a quiet power. It's knowing that your life is full, your time is valuable, and your happiness is not dependent on someone else's attention. A confident woman doesn't rush to prove her worth. She lives in a way that naturally shows it. She doesn't chase, she attracts, and the right man will see that confidence as something rare and magnetic. Desperation is rooted in fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not being good enough, fear that this is your only chance at love. But here's the truth. The moment you let fear drive your decisions, you start giving away your value. You become overly available, overly accommodating, and overly forgiving, just so you won't lose him. But in doing so, you're telling him that his presence is more important than your boundaries, your peace, and your dignity. That's not love. That's self-neglect. Confidence is rooted in self-trust. It says, even if this man walks away, I know I'll be okay. I know I'll still be valuable. I know I still have something great to offer, and I won't have to beg someone to see it. When you carry yourself with that kind of energy, you naturally set higher standards for how you're treated. You're not afraid to say no. You're not afraid to walk away. You're not afraid to demand the respect you deserve. And the kind of men who are serious, mature, and ready for something real, they notice that, they respect it, they step up because they know you won't settle for less. Think about it. When you smell a perfume that's light, balanced, and elegant, it draws you in. You want to get closer. But when a scent is too strong and overpowering, your natural instinct is to back up. Desperation works the same way. It suffocates. It makes a man feel like you're not interested in him as much as you're interested in filling a void. And that's when he starts pulling away, because nobody wants to feel like they're someone else's lifeline. I've seen it too many times. A woman loses herself trying to win a man. She bends over backward. She pours into him with everything she's got. She compromises in ways that go against who she is, all because she's terrified of losing him. And the sad part, that's usually when she loses him anyway. Because once the thrill of the chase is gone and he knows he doesn't have to earn her, the respect fades. Without respect, love can't grow. But when a woman stands in her confidence, she doesn't have to worry about chasing anyone. She's focused on her life, her purpose, her joy. She knows a relationship should add to her, not complete her. She's selective about who she lets in, and she understands that not every man who shows interest deserves a seat at her table. That's the energy that keeps you valuable, because you're showing that you value yourself first.